Today, I have a great track record of success. I get clients by word of mouth. People pay me six figures for my services. People actually pay me $1,000 per hour, which I still think is crazy. So I don't like to provide consulting. It's real taxing on the brain. So I raise my prices to $1,000 per hour, and yet people still hire me for that amount. But it wasn't always this way. In fact, just a few years ago, I couldn't sell my service at cost. I was basically giving it away without any profit, and I couldn't get any takers. In this episode, I'm going to share with you what I did to make that change. How I went from not being able to sell it to being able to sell it for six figures and having a great track record of success. To turn things around, I did something very intentionally, very specific and strategic. So I'm going to share the story of what I did, including how I needed to build a track record and how I needed a portfolio and what I did to get that because no one would buy my services. And I'll talk about how I was able to actually quadruple my pricing. And when I mention that pricing to people, they just say, yes, sounds good to me. Today I have a huge track record of success on YouTube. But going back 7 years ago, I didn't have it. In fact, I had proven my strategy in small scale, so I knew that it would work, but no one else could see it and no one else had experienced it. I started putting on 3-day retreats, and I'd get 15 or 20 people that would come to those, and after the 3 days they would say, wow, this was so valuable, when's your next one? So they told me that they liked it, but did they implement what I taught? No, they didn't. There were people that hired me for coaching and consulting. I would coach them and give them feedback. I'd even put on one-time filming events where they'd come and they'd film a few episodes at a time, but nobody really ever stuck with it. And that was really frustrating to me because I knew my strategy would work. What I really wanted was to hold somebody's hand and take them from start to finish and help them be consistent for a long time. But I really wanted to sell some type of comprehensive package where I could do that. And I even offered it at cost where I wasn't going to make any profit because I really wanted a portfolio. When I had my web design service, I had a whole portfolio. And people could look at all the different websites that I had designed, and they knew what their investment was going to get them. And for my video production services, where I created speaker videos, I could show them samples of things. But for this large, comprehensive approach on YouTube, yeah, I could show them a single video here or there. But when I said, yeah, we're going to film 260 episodes in a year, and this is the dollar amount, they wouldn't bite. They wouldn't do it. You know, I remembered that, like, okay, a portfolio or a track record of success, people need to see that. They need to see results. So I came up with an idea. 5 years ago, I approached 6 different people with this idea that I was going to form a partnership with them. Basically, they'd get my services for free because I wanted to have a proof of concept. I wanted to build a portfolio. And Chris Crone was one of these people. He was the one of the 6 that said, yeah, let's do it. And kind of a funny story, I sent him a half-hour-long video explaining my idea. And knowing Chris now, I know how painful that is for him to just sit there and watch something for 30 minutes. So he actually messaged me back. He was very kind. And he said, can you summarize what this video says? You know, I'm intrigued, but I don't know if I have 30 minutes. My response to him was, you've got to watch it just to see the whole picture. Well, he did watch it, and he said his wife Colleen watched the video with him and that they were interested. So we entered into a partnership and we started the channel from scratch. Fast forward to today, we're almost at 500,000 subscribers, and the channel is bringing in between $500,000 and $600,000 per month. You can tell that that's a statistic that I like to drop all the time. What did that do for me? This channel has given me a huge track record of success. I mean, it started giving me the credibility and the proof of concept long before now. And so there's actually several channels that I produce that work as this proof of concept or work as this portfolio. Now when I talk to people and I teach them the same strategy, they implement it. They take action on it. There are people now that are actually not my clients who have gotten results just from watching my videos on YouTube. As soon as I had this credibility and I had this track record of success, I noticed people were coming to me saying, hey, how did you do that for Chris? Or how did you do that for Paul? Or how did you do that with the Duncans? Not only did I have people now interested in buying my services, but I actually quadrupled my pricing. I thought it would be a good idea to actually include profit in there. I was trying to give away my services at cost before, and no one would want it. Now I had a track record of success. I had credibility. People now knew that my strategy was sound. and now they're willing to pay a premium price for it. And the cool thing is, I don't really market or have a sales campaign to get new clients. All my clients come to me through word of mouth, and I get invited to speak places, people that hear me, they go and they do research on me on these channels that I've created, and they approach me and ask me if I have room to help them as well. When I look back, I guess the one thing that I really had going for me is I really have a strong entrepreneurial drive and just a commitment to not give up, because I believed in my strategy. I knew I had proved it in small scale, and I saw what it could do, and I just knew on big scale it would really work, and I was so committed to that, and I was willing to give it away for free and prove it for a couple of years before it really turned profitable. So do you believe in your service enough to give it away for free? Seriously, if you're struggling to make sales or struggling to sell it at the price point that you'd like, consider trying that. Get yourself a track record of success, build yourself a portfolio. And on that note, the video that I want you to watch next, I'll link to it right up here, is how to make money on YouTube fast. I think combining that video of how to make money on YouTube with how to sell your product, I think these two videos will go really well and will help you succeed in your business.
Burned me once or twice, I expect that